Hi, I'm Jason Gorber, and we're here to look at the gospel truth.
Itself.
So, on this channel, we're big fans of Vinyl Please and a bunch of their releases. We're also huge fans of many of the soul labels that are out there, particularly Stax, particularly the stuff that came out of Memphis. And one of the things that label did, lots of these labels, Chestnut Checkers, technically Motown Tamla gets complicated, Gordy, etc. There's a whole complicated story there about what counted, especially Mo West. You had all kinds of sub-labels going on, Rare Earth, to capture it. As explained to me in the inimitable 500 songs, a lot of these independent labels would have sub-labels so the DJs weren't playing from the same label every time. I loved when that was a thing. People, everything's just a music conglomerate now, and I guess people sort of know if something is on one of the sub labels, like Sub Pop, for example. There are certain things that still have that cachet, but I don't think in most of today's music it's quite the same way. Again, there's exceptions. Like in movies, there's an A24, which is a production company and a distributor and all that stuff, that have certain fan bases that will sort of gorge on everything that actually comes from that. I'm a big fan of Daptone, etc. There's certainly stuff still out there, but it's not quite the same way. Anyway, gospel truth. This has elements that really speak to me. I didn't actually know this was a thing actually till another label, give a shout out, a compilation label called Numero, which many of you will know, did introduce me to. It sort of codified something, and I'll go back to my philosophy degree and talk about how you don't really know something until it's named. It's a Foucauldian epistemological thing, but the deal is that until it had been codified with nomenclature, I hadn't really recognized that that's the thing that it was that I actually loved, and it was just gospel funk. It seems simple, but the basis fundamentally for a lot of it is that it was too funky for the Jesus people and too Jesussy for the funk people, and especially Numero was very obscure stuff that sort of fell through the cracks, and for people like myself who don't give a damn, as it were, about the actual liturgical point of the music, but recognizes that the liturgical point of the music is what's informing its emotional response and the entire history of the way that the American Baptist Church, particularly the African American Baptist Church, used musical ecstasy as a form of worship, which resulted in, the last 150 years of extraordinary music. It's all at play here. And I, who can fully appreciate that I'm seeing it outside often of its quote-unquote intended context, but able to appreciate it fully as I'm sensing the sheer epiphany, the musical presence that's at play here. The truth of it all, as it were. So here, truth is where it's at. The best of the gospel truth. This is one of their newest box sets. This is not an anthology per se, but it's pretty darn close. It doesn't tell the story. It doesn't have the podcast and stuff like that. Excuse me, but it does include a number of records. Now, I have some releases on the Gospel Truth label, but this seemed like a really nice way of me being able to very quickly pick up a bunch of stuff, and especially for this stuff. Like the original release is just like a first pressing just is a mess often. The pressings aren't very good, or if they are okay, they've also been played to hell and haven't been treated. So the fact that I'm getting essentially audiophile release of this stuff is amazing. AAA lacquers cut from the original master tapes by Ryan Smith at Sterling Sound. Ryan, who does all the Sony stuff, it seems. Excuse me. Listening notes and booklets by Jared J.B. Boyd. Limit to 1,000 foil stamped and numbered copies. So my number is 321 out of 1,000. I guess it's foil stamped because it says Vinyl Me Please. But yeah, I'm 321 out of 1,000. And I'm very happy to have that. So let's open this up and see what records are inside. Shall we? As I carefully open my arc-like box. Okay. So this includes the following. So first of all, there's the box, there's the back, pretty straightforward. Talks about what the albums are, but we're going to go through that together. We have a booklet. Of course, we have a booklet. Ooh, it's actually sewn on the side instead of glued, which is nice. And inside here, we have a breakdown, the essay, and then breaking down record by record exactly what it is. So again, the similar quality to what you get with the usually much more expensive anthology series. Yeah, extremely pleased with this. So let's see what we've got here. We have the Rance Allen Group. I know nothing about these records. I'm so excited to actually delve into it, but look how great that looks. Okay, amazing bubble writing here. I put on my head, just my imagination, just my salvation. See what we're doing here? We're mixing them too. What is this? Greatness of God, love, power. Great. I can't wait to dive into this one. I know this seems like I could tell you all this stuff about records. I don't know this stuff at all, which I just know that this is going to sort of provide me with something really interesting. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, that's what we're looking for. Maceo Woods and the Christian Tabernacle Concert Choir doing Jesus People. Yeah. Amazing group of a gazillion people doing this stuff. Cannot wait. Soprano soloists. This I think is going to be very, very much up my alley. I mean, I'm just going to keep saying that obviously I bought this, so I'm excited about seeing it. Louise McCord, a tribute to Mahalia Jackson. Well, we all know who Mahalia is, don't we? And I have a bunch of Mahalia. I really love her stuff. But the fact that we have somebody doing a tribute record to Mahalia is going to be fantastic, I hope. Who's actually on here? Anybody interested? Yeah, so again, the Steve Allens, the Tommy Allens, apparently we have a connection with a bunch of people that are playing on these records all together. There'll be connections, because this one has Steve Allen, this one has Steve Allen, and Thomas Allen as well. Rance Allen on guitar. Do we also have Rance Allen on guitar? We do not. But the point is that clearly I'm going to learn about who these Allen people are, and I'm going to probably learn a lot, which I am, again, looking forward to. Whatever Happened to Love by Clarence Smith. Yeah. I mean, come on. So, nice, I should say, these are nice, thick, tip-on jackets. Yeah, that's wild. There he is, looking beatific. I don't know why Jesus loves me. Oh, yes, I love him. Sometimes I feel like a mother's child. Okay. Yes, that'll be stunning. Do we have any Allens on here? No, we got Nixon's. Musicians, Rhythm, The Movement, Horns, the South Memphis Horns, Miscellaneous Percussions by Tom Nixon. So that's one that, there we go. Whatever Happened to Love? We're going to find out, aren't we? Then we have, oh, wow. So I don't know what era this was. 1973. This totally looks like it's something from later in the 70s with that font. That is presaging that. You would have seen that and thought that's like a 1978, 79 sort of music for easy listening stuff. But yeah, there we go. The Gospel Artists with a painting. That's that. I would have pulled this out of a crate and I'm like, what is this? And why do I need this? And the answer is yes. The answer is always yes. We'll see how this actually plays out. And then finally, we have Blue Aquarius. You can't end war with war. You can't put out a fire with fire. To end a crisis, you need an anti-crisis. The only anti-crisis is peace. Gatefold. Wow. Full gatefold. Who's Guru Maharajaji? Blue Aquarius. I have no idea what's going on with this one. This looks wild. You can see that is the group that we're dealing with. So we will see how Blue Aquarius plays, and how it actually plays out, and how it actually fits into it. Let's look at one of the records just for fun. It's obviously black vinyl. Nothing too extraordinary, but just out of the poly-lined paper sleeve. The record looks great. No problems, no fingerprints, no nonsense. Just nice, clean records. Thank you, VMP. Especially for their specific stuff like this and their classics. I've actually had really good luck of late. I know they're supposedly opening their pressing plant at some point in time. Who knows when it's coming? But for now, this stuff absolutely looks like it stands out. These covers are great, super beautifully well done. We will see how this all sounds when I actually dig in. But there's a brief look at the Truth of the Gospel Truth box set from assembled from Vinyl Me Please on the Classic Truth Stax sub-label. Cannot wait to dig in. Thanks so much for watching. Subscribe, follow us on social media, and let us know in the comments what you think about this particular recording. We will see you next video. All the best. Take care.